One of my first Digimon videos to ever do well was my top 10 Evolution Lines video in 2020, and after sweet Azulongmon 80,000 views, and as my Digimon knowledge has grown and my opinions have matured and refined, I figured it was time I updated you all and gave you my new top 10 Digimon Evolution Lines as of 2022. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. Thank you for liking, subscribing, and ringing that bell. Especially if you're one of this percentage of people who are watching but aren't subscribed. What's wrong with you? Get a life. I'm just mean today, sorry. And yes, my top 10 Evolution Lines. Back when I made that first video, I really was making videos for nobody. My videos were just in general more poorly written, researched, edited. I just wasn't putting something out there that I thought many people were going to be watching. But over the past year and change, not only have I gotten stricter with my research and writing, but exposure to things like Digimon Adventure 2020, Ghost Game, the Digimon VB, the Cyber Sleuth games, and tons of other Digimon products have really had an effect on my top 10 Evolution Lines. And as always, this is just my personal top 10 and is of course subject to change another year down the line. But for right now, it's going to be so fun to put this line out to see who is still in the top 10, who entered the top 10 who wasn't in it previously, and who didn't make the cut. Well, my number 10 pick should come as no surprise to anyone that regularly watches my videos, and that is the Hyakomon line. Specifically Puamon to Chichimon to Hyakomon to Baraimon to Butenmon and finally Chronomon Holy Mode. I adore Hyakomon and I just wish it was in more Digimon media outside of the 2 video games it managed to appear in. Even Digimon Adventure 2020 didn't give Hyakomon its time in the sun, and that season was giving love to everyone, the little hussy. And this doubles down as a shame because it has caused Hyakomon to kind of drop down in my top 10. It's still here, it's still keeping its grasp firmly on my top 10 Evolution Lines, but the less I get to see and engage with the Digimon, the more that relationship is going to stagnate. But it still gets that number 10 slot due to my admiration for it and my deep desire that one day we get to see it again. And in at number 9 is the Commandramon line. Commandramon is again a Digimon that I have long campaigned to see more of in things like anime and manga, and just in general has such a cool Digivolution line to me, that being Bombmon to Missimon to Commandramon to Sealsdramon to Tankdramon and finally Darkdramon. In the Digimon TCG, I absolutely love playing D-Brigade where possible, and if you've been watching Digimon Ghost Game, let's just say Sealsdramon had quite the outing in episode 13. Jesus Christ. This is also a line I had to put on this list again because when I put it on my original list, I accidentally in the edit showed an image of Tankmon instead of Tankdramon. Continuation from Commandramon. And then it in turn digivolves to its ultimate, Tankdramon.
Are you saying I'm stupid?
Yes!
This is the 15th take. I cannot work like this.
My defense, Tankmon showed up as like a really high result when I Google image searched Tankdramon and wanted a transparent background. It wasn't that I didn't know the difference, it's just that I had editing blinders on. You would not believe how many comments to this day, to this week. Wait, that's Tankmon, not Tankdramon. Like, what do you want? The video is up, I can't edit it. I can't put new images in, it's done. Like, I understand when you watch a video and something's wrong, you want to point it out, but it's like, there's nothing the YouTuber can do at that point other than delete the video that's making them money so they can eat. Number 8 is the Haguramon line, but I have to confess something. While I like Andromon as an antagonist, I'm a little bored of it in like a partner setting. I love him, especially in the adventure canon. I just wish Haguramon and Gardramon got an evolution that was a little bit more in line with their general aesthetic, more bronze and brass and kind of steampunky vibe that I think those two have. As I also will not shut up about, Blimpmon would make a great ultimate for Gardramon, but seeing as we can't do that, the line is going to be Metal Coramon, which is another Digimon that people pulled me up on. Apparently it has been used as an in-training Digimon and it makes sense to me. I know that Metal Coramon is a dubism, but Metal Coramon being a baby always just like fucks with my head. So while yes, it generally is a baby, it has been used as in-training, so technically my original video stands. But from Metal Coramon we will go to Kapurimon, who's a decent Metal Empire rookie, but because I've already used Missimon on this list, I didn't want to keep redoubling down on in-training Digimon. I wish we had a new Metal Empire in-training Digimon. Something that's a little bit more robotic and gear-focused, I guess, just to slot into things like the Haguramon line. Haguramon X Antibody has these mini Haguramon that are on either side of it. Maybe those could be the in-training for Haguramon. And then from Kapurimon to Haguramon, then Gardramon, and then Big Mamemon. It's also not a completely perfect choice, but I think it does keep that that kind of rotund feel that Gardramon has, and I wonder why I like a rotund feel. So does your mum. So we get to keep these like big chungus metal vibes, but then in true Digimon tradition where Digivolution is kind of everywhere, Big Mamimon would then slim down a bit and end up on Prince Mamimon. Because Haguramon is a prince to me, damn it!
Here comes a new challenger!
Our number 7 evolution line is brand new to this list, and that is Ghostmon and his line. Since his debut, I have been in love with this spooky lad, and when I got his dim card and got to raise him over October and the Spooktober videos last year, that love has just doubled down. The line being Zurumon to Demi-Meramon, to Ghostmon, then Bakemon, to Pumpkinmon, and finally Noble Pumpkinmon. This is just such a perfect Halloween line, and brings together some spooky Digimon who to me have been kind of floating around listless and imperfect. They could, some of them, digivolve into each other, but I think Ghostmon is a really great anchor to bring this line together. And honestly, if they add more spooky Digimon, like especially a designated in-training champion ultimate or something for Ghostmon, I wouldn't be surprised if he's even higher up on the list next time. Our next one is solely sticking here by virtue of its rookie being one of my favourites of all time, and that is the Lopmon line. But I do, unfortunately, have some sad news. Terriermon didn't make it.
I hate you for doing that. But even if you died, it wouldn't bring Terriermon back.
I love the two rookies in Lopmon and Terriermon so much, but just find myself increasingly bored with Terriermon's line. Sorry, Terriermon.
As God is my witness, you ungrateful fucks, I will have my revenge!
Lopmon holds on though because of its far more interesting alternate champion and a new mega I've chosen for it. So my favourite line goes Kokomon to Chokomon to Lopmon to Teruimon, although Wendigomon is a really cool dark champion too. Teruimon I believe to be one of the best redemption Digimon ever. I was always displeased with Wendigomon as the default Lopmon champion rather than a dark Digivolution, which it should be, and Teruimon is everything I want in Lopmon's champion. Then to Antilamon, the Deva version, and finally Dianamon, because I can, fuck you. I'm being so mean to you this video, I'm sorry, I love you. No, but seriously, unfortunately the Lunamon line and Coronamon line have been bumped off this list. I do love Lunamon and Coronamon, but again, just haven't seen them in so long, and I think their champion and ultimates are probably less interesting to me, so I like their rookies, and I like their megas and Grace Novamon, but I didn't want Lunamon to be completely off this list, so I've gotten rid of Cherubimon, who's one of my least favourite megas, and swapped in Dianamon, which I think, you know, it's a rabbit, it fits very well in the Lopmon line. Admittedly, I don't really see how it digivolves properly from Antilamon in a kind of visual aesthetic, but Digivolution is free, leave me alone. And in at number 5, once again,
A new warrior has entered the ring!
a Digimon whose line I have always loved but have found renewed appreciation for in the Digimon card game, and through playing Digimon Stories Cyber Sleuth on my second channel with my bud Protodubs. Do check out that channel, the Cyber Sleuth LP is so much fun, and we're doing a lot of one-off edited videos too. Link in the description, card, you know how to do things, I'm influencing you. And that line is Kuramon to Sumemon to Keramon to Chrysalimon, Infamon, and then finally Diaboramon. Just one of the most unique Digimon lines going, I think. This computer virusy creepy line is great when used for evil, and fascinating when used as a partner Digimon. I really hope Keramon or Keramon's line end up in Digimon Survive somehow. Wishful thinking. And for number 4 is
a certified hood classic.
And that is Chibamon to Demi-Vmon to Vmon to X-Vmon. But finally, as I talked about in my video talking about what if the 02 partners got conventional evolutions rather than Jogress, I think X-Vmon should digivolve to Wingdramon. I think it totally builds on the body and wings of X-Vmon without feeling like more of the same, like if we were to choose Aero Vidramon. And then Wingdramon really clearly transitions into the evolution of Old Force Vidramon. So I do also like Slayerdramon and Dynasmon here, but I think for a kind of Davis-focused evolution, I'm always going to prefer Old Force Vidramon, even though I guess it's Taichi's. And while I've not talked about Jogress for all of them, for the specific 02 Digimon that I love, I am going to talk about that. So of course, my favourite Jogress for X-Vmon is always going to be Paildramon and Imperialdramon, and my favourite armour for Vmon is Raydramon. Me and Proto are so similar in many ways, but you can tell the divide in our types of personality that his favourite is Flamedramon and my favourite is Raydramon. I will also say though that of course Magnamon is awesome and goated with the sauce. And this is gonna surprise many of you, but in at number 3, moving up from its previous position, is the Wyrmmon line. I know, the foundations of this channel are crumbling before us. I still love my wormy boy with all my heart, and he is always going to be my top 3 until a really cool new Digimon comes along. Ain't I a stinker?
Damn you! You traitors!
And it is not what he has done wrong, but rather what the other two at number 2 and 1 have done right. Wyrmmon has not crossed me at all. He's still been showing up in media. He's a good boy. I've really got a love for the other two. And as always, my line is Leafmon to Minomon to Wyrmmon to Stingmon, then Jewel Beamon, and finally Bancho Stingmon. Just the king of kings when it comes to bug Digimon. And while I do hope for more from Wyrmmon one day, specifically new evolutions, new armors, new Jogress. We've got that 02 movie coming up at some point in the nearish future. Would love to see more forms for Wyrmmon. This line I think is still an absolute classic. To the inverse of Vmon, my Jogress that I would choose for Wyrmmon/Stingmon would be Dino Beamon and then Gran Kawagamon, acting as a kind of inverse to the Imperialdramon Paildramon situation. And my favorite Wyrmmon armor evolution is Shadramon. It is a perfect Courage armor evolution, perfectly melds Stingmon or Wyrmmon's body with the Digi-Egg of Courage, acts as a perfect partner pair to Flamedramon. But I will also say that Togemogumon, who is Wyrmmon with the Digi-Egg of Friendship, is super good too and very slept on. And I also like Kongomon as its Golden Armor Digivolution, which you will find out on Monday. Teaser! So you all know what that means. Out of my favourite trio of Digimon, one has ascended to the top spot and one is in at number 2. And without keeping you waiting much longer, my number 2 top evolution line of 2022 is Blucomon's line. Oh yes, Blucomon got a big W in 2021, with a proper in-training form for it, Hiraethmon, debuting on the Blizzard Fang Dim card, which Blucomon was the mascot for. This has ensured Blucomon's relevancy that I have been craving. The only thing that continues to let it down a little bit is that I think its Champion and Ultimate are a little weak. I think they could make them a little bit better, though they are still great, and that means that the evolution line is Snowbottomon to Hiraethmon to Blucomon, Paildramon, Chris Paildramon, and then finally the GOAT Hexablaumon. Blucomon won my heart in 2020. To see his line go from strength to strength in V-Pet, the Digimon VB, and the card game has been amazing. As someone who has loved him before all that, when he was just a Chinese exclusive Digimon ostensibly. And there is zero gatekeeping here. I want as many people as possible to love my boy, to raise him, to train him, because he is the best. I really do hope my boy and his line right through to Hexablaumon get more outings, more opportunities to shine, and more fans along the way, because I really do think he is super unique and deserves it. And if he's not going to be in Digimon Survive, I really hope he's a selectable partner in the next Digimon story game. But that of course means that in at number 1, if the Stingmon line is the king of kings of bug Digimon, then this is the queen bee of Digimon, the FanBeemon line. FanBeemon finally got its day in the sun last year, with not only it, but Waspmon and Cannonbeemon all getting their first anime appearances in Digimon Adventure 2020. And while FanBeemon's line is still yet to get any cards in the Digimon card game as of time of recording, even in the specific X antibody set that's coming out, I'm fine. I still love this line so much that being Pupumon to Pororumon to FanBeemon to Waspmon to Cannonbeemon and finally Tiger Vespamon. Just to me an almost perfect Digivolution line, but I do think that one weak link perhaps I would like to see is a mega that elaborates on the Cannonbeemon design into an even bigger aircraft carrier or something one day though. I would like to see something similar to Ceresmon, where there's the giant big evolution and also the more slimmed down kind of like speedy evolution. Maybe Tiger Vespamon being able to mode change to something like a big battalion Cannonbeemon, I don't know. And again, playing Cyber Sleuth with Proto over on the second channel has given me so much more exposure to Tiger Vespamon with Faye, even if I do have to fight it all the time. Which has only strengthened my bond. And I really hope that 2022 gets more outings for FanBeemon's line. Please, Bandai, if you never do anything else for me, I know you've already given me Blucomon and Wyrmmon dims, just complete the trifecta and give me a FanBeemon dim, please. And before I go, I do have to give an honourable mention to our 2 partner Digimon of this channel, our mascot, Hiraethmon and Wyrmmon, spelt with a Y. These are 2 community-created Digimon which I am absolutely in love with. Hiraethmon came about when we were making merch and was designed by Soru, and Wyrmmon was a complete collaboration spearheaded by Andrew. I love these boys so much. If you're ever drawing me with Digimon, obviously Fanbymon, Bluecomon, and Wyrmmon, but also Wyrmmon and Hiraethmon. They're always behind me. So let me know if you want me to do a video on my OCs in the future, I guess. And there it is, my top 10 Digivolution lines of 2022. Of course, this is a deeply personal, subjective list, far from objective, so let me know in the comments down below your favourite top 10 evolution lines, or just some of your favourite Digimon. And hey, if you've been inspired to draw some of my favourite Digimon, or my OC Digimon, you can share that with me on Twitter at Karn_EX, or if you would like to send it or anything else to me in person, you can send it to my PO Box, which is Karn EX, Plas Eirias Business Centre, Abergele Road, Colwyn Bay, LL298BF, United Kingdom. Thank you to my amazing Sovereign ZDK14 and all the other members you can see on screen now for supporting this channel. Thank you all so much for all the love over this past year and change, and I will see you next time when we go digital. Bye bye.